Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are currently at war and we're going to be making our way up through Argentina here fairly soon. Now, we're making some progress here, but we mostly just need to work through the stockpile of weapons that are here right now, and that's absolutely understood. So we'll just work on pushing through that, and that's not a particularly big deal. We have invaded down over here. And this invasion is still ongoing, but I do want to get these guys set up to prepare for an invasion from here to here. So make sure that that is going. There we go. Excellent. And we have a lot of political power right now, so I want to make sure that we have a core going, although we may or may not already have one. We do. Okay, so that's going to have our civilian factories be cut down a little bit for now. So we'll just get that going. That seems fine. Is there a max amount of political power we can store? I don't know. That'll be interesting. For now, though, we are pushing our way through Argentina, and this is going to get a lot better for us once we capture Buenos Aires, which is going to take a little while. But we keep going back and forth right here. But now that our infantry have arrived on the front, this should start to change in theory. Emphasis on in theory. The infantry didn't actually make their way up to here, though, which is what's awkward here. Okay, now the infantry are actually here, and we should hold at Viedma. So that'll be absolutely perfect. And I want to check in on the status of our navy here. Okay, fair enough. So who do we have down over here? That's these guys. And they are on patrol. So we're going to need them to be patrolling, like, up over here. Like that. Okay, so that'll do for now. This out over here, of course, that's not happening for the moment. But for right now, this seems relatively fine. Now, checking in up over this direction on these naval invasions. How's this going? Okay, that'll be ready soon enough. And this invasion does not have anyone assigned to it. There we go. That'll be better. It'll take them some time to get there. And actually, you know what? I'm going to delete this. And we are instead going to have these guys be naval invading again from Rangoon. And they're going to be going down to here. Does that cross into this sea zone? I'm not sure if it does or not. Because I want to pull this navy over to here. So we'll do that for now. And we'll make our way over there. So that seems okay for the moment. And checking in on Argentina here, how is this going? Overall, it's going fairly well at this point. We are making our way through this. They are running into some supply issues. We can definitely see their fighting strength dropping. But I had noticed right at the end of last episode, you may not have seen it if you had already clicked off the video, but I had noticed right at the end of last episode, the UK's at 0 manpower. So we just got to keep trying on this, and we will eventually make our way through. They can't keep up the pressure. So that sounds great, and this up over here, are you guys ready to launch? Not for a little bit. That makes sense, actually. So that's fine. They've got additional forces on the way over there. Okay, so that all looks good for the time being. Now the real question is, are these guys actually crossing into this sea zone? And I think that they're not. So that looks great. We actually still have control down over here, though, so we'll see. We'll see. It's absolutely fine, though, for right now. So we're definitely making progress in Argentina. Look at that. Buenos Aires has fallen. So we want to crank that up to the maximum number of naval bases immediately. And I want to also motorize this. Okay, so now we need to check in on things like this railway. That's not converted yet. This needs to be brought up to level 5. And then let's have a level 5 railway be connected here. That can be brought up. And then this will take a little bit of time to get converted over to our rail gauge. So that looks reasonably fine for now. We should be getting access to their supply hubs out over here, and this is not going to be much of a problem logistically from here. Although we do definitely need to get this connection done up over here. So that is very, very obvious, but they are beginning to collapse over on this side now, as we expected. So that is looking phenomenal. I'm just kind of waiting for these over here to finish up. But yeah, look at this collapse that's occurring here. Also, looks like we need a bit of a rail connection right here. And also like that. So we'll get that all underway. 2 more days over here. Excellent. Okay, so now let's go ahead and crank that up to a level 5 railway. But otherwise, this seems absolutely fine. So we're just pushing right on through here with no real issues at this point. They are in full collapse. We've got a big breakthrough over here. I want to make sure that one of these are heading directly into Buenos Aires. That is a huge deal if we can get that. And it looks like we can. It's undefended. There we go. Buenos Aires is under control. We'll have this tank unit come up over here, and then we'll get these reoriented. Looks good. But yeah, they're in complete and total collapse at this point. So they may capitulate at any time. They may not for a while yet, though. They've got a fair amount of territory up here still. So we'll see what happens with that. But Buenos Aires being under our control again is absolutely huge. Let's get that naval base cranked up to the maximum and this naval base cranked up to the maximum. I also want to upgrade some of these rail lines. So you should actually be connected here. Upgrade this rail line. This rail line can be upgraded. And I think a connection out over here does make sense. Okay. So that's all underway for now. Supplies should be no real problem for us, and we're just going to keep pushing this in nice and quick. So these guys out over here, they're getting close to being ready to launch.
Come on.
These guys, we don't have the sufficient naval supremacy out here yet. Where's the Navy that's supposed to be out here? Where indeed? They are here. Right. We'll enable automatic split off and tell them just get out here. Get into the Gulf of Guinea. There you go. Was that a naval invasion? Interesting. Well, for now, we're going to just launch this naval invasion. It's a naval combat. Okay, fair enough. That's absolutely fine. So we're going to get this launched, and we'll see what their defenses are like over here. Now then, this naval invasion we know is not yet ready to go. But what about these? Looks like we launched this attack, and it did not go well. Okay, so we'll just reassign this. And then these guys, they should launch their attack as well. Once again, we just want to keep trying on this as much as we can, because we just want to whittle down their manpower. That's the idea here. We want to hit them in a number of locations. And what did we get here? Oh, we took down 4 destroyers. Neat. So that's all looking good, and we shall see how this naval invasion goes this time. Eventually, they will not be able to maintain this. Eventually. These guys are not going, but they should as soon as they can. So as far as our Argentina battle goes, we've definitely cracked open this front line. They're in full collapse. There's very little they can do. So this looks good. We'll just let that proceed for the time being. Excellent. So things are looking great there. As far as this invasion goes, it's going okay so far. Success. Okay, so this invasion is done. We no longer need to have this invasion plan set up. Now, we know that they have Diego Garcia here. We know that they have Coco's Islands out over here. And we know that they have Christmas Island out over this way. And then, of course, there's Australia that we're at war with down here. And we want to launch that from Christmas Island if we can. So I think what we should be doing right now is looking to take Diego Garcia. So that pretty much means that we need to build a naval base, like down over here. We don't have one right now, so that seems fine. I'm going to tell these guys to just make their way over to here, although they're being kind of awkward right now. I don't know where they're going, to be honest. They're kind of heading all over. We'll come back to that once they get to a reasonable location. So that seems okay. Oh! We took this. Okay, that's a huge deal. We need these guys up here as soon as we can. We need to immediately be constructing land forts here, but we also need to immediately be constructing a naval base here to be able to provide supplies. I don't want to launch an attack up over here, and this is a dangerous position for us. So let's get going on that. If they launch attacks, that's fine, but if they don't, and give us time to build a naval base here, then that's very, very good for us. So that would be absolutely fantastic. As far as this goes, I do want to launch this attack fairly soon. There's still some time before that can be done, but the fact that we have this is huge. So we've managed to build one level of land fort. They're not attacking us here, but we are out of supplies for right now. Like, supply attrition is absolutely a thing. We need to get a naval base here, and we're working on it. When is this going to be finished? That's going to be done on 17 March. Okay. We may end up losing these 3 Marine units, but we'll find out. So we're currently at 49%, now 53%. And we have managed to get a couple of levels of land fort here to help us hold this if they attack. So we'll see how that ends up going. Hi, pause menu. I want to check in on Argentina over here, and it's going pretty okay thus far. And checking in down over here, these guys have not yet launched. They have 4 days before they plan to launch. Okay. So that seems fine. The main question right now is, are we going to get this naval base finished? Because that will give us everything that we need at this point. That's a large turning point for us. I'm guessing that they're not attacking here because they have very little manpower. Okay, it's the 15th. If they're going to attack, it has to be today. They did not attack. We have a level of naval base here. That now means that these reinforcements can start pathfinding their way out here. Come on out. There you go. So we're sending these reinforcements over. We now have supplies over here, and that's huge. Now, I want to check in on this invasion. This is much larger than our previous invasions out over here have been. We've got a lot more Marines, and we've got some tanks here. So we should be able to dislodge them. Oh, look, there's a war in Chile. We should be able to dislodge them, especially when we consider that they are basically in collapse at this moment. We know that their manpower levels are very low. We took over this position, which is indicative of low manpower, and they didn't attack us to contest this, which is also indicative of low manpower. So we're going to launch an attack up over this direction, and we'll see how that goes. I'm going to tell these guys to just offensive line out to here, and we'll have them execute that. We know that they're not going to attack particularly frequently, right? And that's absolutely fine. Or, well, we know that they're going to struggle with this attack, but we just want to put pressure on at this point. Okay, so that seems good. How are we doing out over here? We've not managed to make it to the island yet, but we'll get there soon. Very soon. Oh, look, the war in Chile is over. Okay, so we're going to be attacking here. We're immediately at 92. This is a much larger attack than previous. It's holding at 92. But they have a really, really hard time replacing these, right? So even if this attack fails, that's reasonably fine. We'll keep an eye on that, but I want to check out over this direction. So we do have a unit of mountaineers here. Okay, that seems fine. So these guys' organization is too low to advance. That's understood. We'll let them replenish that, and they'll make their way up and attack over here eventually. So that seems okay. How are we doing in Argentina? Well, the answer is we are pushing through here. They have very little territory left, so that looks good. This invasion is the real question at this point. So far, it's looking good. Ish. It's looking good-ish. They're down to 1 division, according to this. So I think we've been doing significant damage to them here. We're out of tanks for this attack. But there we go. It just fell. Beautiful. So that is, of course, huge. So that's another island gone. But we have more island hopping that needs to happen. So for right now, we can see exactly what is on this island. It's kind of a lot. And their fighting strength is reasonably up there. It's mostly these infantry here. So that's understood. We're only attacking with these Marines as of right now, and we probably want to bring a unit of tanks over at some point. The question is, what point? Well, we could bring these tanks over. It would be pretty overkill, and we'd have some trouble with supplies, I bet. But let's start bringing them, and they'll make their way over this way. It'll take them some time to get there. That's understood. In that time, we'll build up our naval base on Andaman. They tried to attack us there. That's intriguing. Yeah, they're trying to attack us. That's good. We want that. But these tanks are on the way in. I'm going to tell our Marines to stop the attack here. There we go. And these tanks, well, they are, of course, going to be told to offensive line straight up through here. Now, they're going to have to do a crossing, and that's going to be a bit tough. And we did get another level of naval base there, so we do have some supplies flowing through. But we're going to be a little bit tight on supplies in this area. We'll tell these guys only to launch their attack once their organization is high enough. So that looks fine. We're just piling in a ludicrous number of those. And what is our supply looking like here? Well, it's at 5 out of 11 right now, but that's going to get a lot worse, I suspect. But we'll continue to work on that naval base. So that looks good. Our tanks are now launching the attacks over this way. The UK decrypted our ciphers, not like we care. So I want to grab these guys out over here. We should have at least 1 level of naval base here, and I want to have them plan an attack from here to here. Perfect. So we'll get that started, and I want to move our navy that is currently here over to... Hang on. Is this held by the UK? I think it is. It is. Okay. So that's reasonably fine. We've got these guys out over here that they need something to do as well. So we no longer need this naval invasion. And I'm going to have them come out over this way, with the idea being that they launch a naval invasion from here. If I can select it. From here to here. So we'll get that going. We'll launch that when we can. And as far as the Navy goes, we're going to have this naval unit out here move to here. And we're going to remove these, and then we want to grab the other naval unit that's out here. I'm removing these, and we're going to have them come out over here instead to patrol here. Okay, so that looks fine for now. Autosave is occurring, and we're just working on whittling down their number of troops over here. Supplies are definitely tight out over this way. This is still reading as 5 of 11, but I don't think we really have enough supplies coming in. But that's okay. We just want to be whittling down their supply counts and keeping them tied down while we build additional levels of naval base here. So that looks good. And then we'll island hop here to here, and then from here to here, and then from here to here is the idea. We may actually attack all the way down here at these naval bases that are in these areas, but we'll see. Argentina has capitulated. Okay, so that is done at this point. Perfect. So what do we want these guys to do? Well, as of right now, we don't really have anything for them to do. So there's that. Let's check in on how we're doing on coring. Okay, we've got 99 more days on North Korea. So that sounds fine for now. And yeah, we just want to continue to attack down over this direction. And we do have some amount of supplies flowing in here, so it should be okay. No, get out of here. Okay, so at this point, when are we going to get this next level done? Well, that's going to be in about 2 weeks. We'll be at a point very soon where we can sustain the amount of flow through here. And I'm just going to motorize this, not like it actually does anything. But that brings us to 8 of 11. Okay. Well, we're just slowly continuing these attacks here. It's not going very well, right? And I want to select this guy and tell him, stop aggressively attacking. Just be on a balanced fashion for now. So that looks fine. These guys, I do want them to launch their attack as soon as they're prepared. And it looks like they are set to do that. So that's going to happen in about 20 days. And that'll coincide with an attack up this way, most likely. So that seems fine. It seems like we're still pretty aggressively attacking over here. I'm going to turn this entire army group down to balanced. Okay. I don't really want them attacking this aggressively. We could tell them to stop their attacks for now. But I do want to be attacking in order to be building up our naval base here. Remember, we don't get progress while we're getting attacked. So we do have a level 3 naval base here now. And that has boosted up our supply amount. That is a pretty significant thing, actually. So we'll just continue to work on that for now, and we'll launch this naval invasion quite soon. That's going to be in just 5 days. So we've been whittling these guys down this entire time, and we'll launch the naval invasion and an attack down here in concert. So I'm going to tell them to stop this attack for the time being. And why do we only have 20 divisions here? Did we have 4 tank divisions get stack wiped? That's kind of wild. Well, we can definitely recruit some. So this is the correct armored division, right? No? Maybe? Hang on. Template? Yes, that's the correct armored division. So we're going to recruit 4 of those. And we'll just add in 4 units with the location being like up over here. That'll be fine. And I want this to only do it once. Okay. There we go. So we're going to let these guys build up their strength a little bit. And yeah, their organization is too low to advance right now. That's understood. We are now launching this attack.
Come out.
So the organization here is building up, and I want to be supporting this attack with our tanks. Go. Whoever can, get in here. Also, let's attack with the Marines. Okay. So our only goal here is to significantly bleed them. We're trying to do large amounts of damage to them in terms of their manpower. We know that their manpower is at 0. So we're just trying to make use of that at this moment. Okay, so out over this direction, these guys don't have much for supply. That's understood. We should be building additional levels of naval base here. So that's fine. Of course, Argentina has fallen, which means that the only islands that we know about that the UK has is this, and this. That's all we know about for the UK. So that would be absolutely great to get those taken care of. We've got these guys that are probably pretty close to ready to attack, but we don't have naval control out over here yet. Okay, that's noted. So for now, that's fine. We're just trying to work on making our way into Port Blair here. And how is this attack going? Well, it's not going the best at this exact moment. Indeed, it is not going the best. But that's understood. All we're trying to do is whittle them down a little bit, right? That's our goal at this moment. And I don't know how successful we're actually being on that. These attacks are not going tremendously well. And, I mean, there's a crossing right here. That's not terribly surprising. But at least we can do this now. So we need this army here to be reassigned over this way, although they can't do it right now. There we go. Now we can reassign them. You guys should not be down here. This is going to demolish our supply here. Don't retreat here. That's a terrible place to retreat to. Please leave. Like, right now. Get out of there. Okay, Chile declared war on Chile. There's a lot of surprises about that one, I'm sure. Okay, there's still this unit here. Get over here. Okay, we don't want them here. They're causing us significant supply issues if they're here. So that looks good. We're working on still improving our level of naval base here, and we're still working on whittling this down a little bit. Looks like they're recruiting here, which is interesting. I'm wondering where they're getting their manpower from for that. So that's certainly intriguing. And I want to move this this fleet over to... Hang on. No. You are on naval invasion support. You should be here and here, but not here. This is irrelevant at this moment. So I'll do something like this, and that will boost up our naval supremacy enough for us to launch this attack. Or actually, this attack. So we'll see how that goes, but it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode... Are we down a Marine unit? We are down a Marine unit. Okay, next episode, we are going to definitely get Britain taken care of. That is our goal. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.